Okay, we are so excited today. I have beautiful coffee from the beautiful Madeline Cope. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Just a Bit. I know I just said her name, but we really do have an icon here today. Hi, Madeline. Hi. No, we're like, okay, you guys, we actually met 3 days ago when she did my makeup because
we're best friends now.
We're literally best friends.
We're literally best friends.
Like, I think here's the thing. We've been internet friends for about 4 years. Maybe you didn't know that you were my internet friend for a little bit. But it was reciprocated eventually.
It was.
The fact that we became friends this week was just like, it was needed.
Like our texts, people would think we've been friends.
No, seriously. I'm like, hey, so crashing out really bad.
like the restroom whores coming in and I'm like, okay.
No, seriously. Okay. It's been 3 days. You've seen me at my best, my worst. And this is just the complete glow up episode, which could not come at a better time.
Oh my gosh.
I trust you with all things beauty, inside out glow ups, like everything. Like I describe you as an internet big sister.
I love it.
You know, you really do have the credibility because you're also a mamacita.
I'm a mommy.
Yeah, I'm a mommy.
I'm a mommy.
And you're also a professional makeup artist. So like those two credentials right there, I'm like, anything you tell me to do, I'll listen. Because like you're a mother. You know,
I've been through some things, so I feel like I can give some good recs.
Exactly. Yeah. Here's the thing: people trust you with their faces on the biggest days of their entire life, weddings,
so fun.
DCC.
Yes,
she's my makeup artist as a DCC. I get so many questions of like, as a remote DCC, do you still have makeup? You're looking at my artist.
Yeah. I'm there all the time for every practice you have.
Exactly.
Truly.
I'm like, hey, I got to whip out a solo really quick. Please come over.
And I'm there.
But she did give me the full DCC glam the other day and we did a full tutorial. So please check out our Instagram. Because
how did it feel to be in full like DCC glam?
You guys, when she showed me like the front camera, because I didn't have any spoilers the entire time, and she kept asking like, do you want to go full DCC glam? Like, do you want to go full out? I was like, give it to me.
I think Macy, like between the caffeine and the shock, she was silent for like a solid 2 minutes.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. She was like, no, wait, this is kind of eating.
No, at first I was like, okay, this isn't me. And then I looked at myself from some new angles and I was like, no, this is me.
No, but it is you, especially because you're DCC.
I'm DCC Macy.
Yes.
It's
transformative.
Okay, here's the thing. This is why you also have credibility. I kept that makeup on until I had to go to bed at like 11 p.m. It did not budge.
That makes me feel so good.
We had a full-on pizza dinner where we didn't talk the entire time we ate the dinner. And like my pizza was everywhere. That did not budge my makeup one bit. And we have a lot of questions today about long wear makeup. So I'm like, wait, no, guys, like she actually like has the advice.
No, this is going to be so fun. And I love when you say like internet big sister, it like warms my heart because I truly love to watch people glow up. I'm not a gatekeeper. People tell me all the time on social media, they're like, you just let it all out. And I'm like, I just love to be, I don't like to say girl's girl, but
you are.
Yeah.
Let me explain why you're a girl's girl. In like 2022, you were like, who wants to be on my close friend story? And I said, me.
I just let anybody on.
I do. And you were spilling it all. And I was like, no, this is my friend. Guys, funny story. In 2021, I wanted to look cute for a college formal. Yeah. And my college roommate, LJ, she was like, oh my gosh, this girl Madeline Cope did my makeup in high school for prom. We need to have her in this house. And I was like, done. I texted her and tried to book her. But then like, I did not have funds for that. That never actually happened. Like, who did I think I was?
I only had your number and I knew it was you. Because we had been talking about doing like the podcast together. Yes. I think I messaged you when I saw that you launched a podcast. And I was like, I want to come on. Just because I thought it was so like fun that you did the remote DCC, like your remote DCC.
Exactly.
And I've done the makeup for them. And I was like, we need to be together.
We need to join forces.
And I sent you my number, but I think it was the next day. And I always get random texts from like brides and clients. And it was like, hey, just so you know, I tried to hire you. And the first sentence, I was like, this is Macy. And there's no introduction of like, hey, it's Macy. I just was like, this is Macy.
No, if anyone ever gives me their number, like you'll know it's me right away.
100%.
But I'll never say, hi, it's Macy.
It was Macy's aura coming through the phone. I was like, I can tell that this is her.
I text exactly how I sound.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, never mind.
It's like this abrupt too. Like today she walked up to my car and like the Dallas parking lots, you know, they're kind of, you need to be careful.
Yes.
And just this figure walks up to me with all black clothes, just approaching my window. And I was like, oh, it's Macy. I turned and she's like,
Like, can I have my coffee?
Yeah. Which, by the way,
where is this from?
It's from Mocha Coffee and Deep LM. It's
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh, no.
It's our first time together.
Madeline got me coffee on Tuesday as well. Best latte I've ever had. I've had 2 of my best lattes this week. Let me tell you, a week where I've never needed good lattes more. And you came through.
It heals a part of the soul. It does.
I'm so excited. Well, we have a lot to get into today, and I do want to say that I tried to print out like custom cue cards that say just a bit, and I was going to be so professional, but they weren't ready at FedEx, so instead we have a little piece of lined paper.
It's very intimate of you.
It is. It kind of is like giving I always say
character.
I always say this is a ma and pa operation.
Yes. It's giving very boutique-y,
No,
like family generational business. Yeah.
It's giving like I'm running this show by myself, which I am. No Freddie Benson here to help me.
Yeah. Did you do that at the dry bar?
I did. I went to dry bar this morning. I was like, I am an entrepreneur. She's like, what are you working on? I'm like, don't worry about it.
It's really special. You wouldn't get it.
No. But I asked Instagram too to ask you questions.
Love it.
Because I'm like, it's not every day that we have access to a celebrity DCC makeup artist. And so they came in hot with questions. But first we want to know, how'd you get into this? Like, what led you to being my DCC makeup artist?
It was so funny. So first of all, it totally was Jesus, but Jesus with a little humor sprinkled on the top. I remember being 17 and you're in your like senior year, right, of high school. My parents are like, what are you doing? What's the next chapter?
They're like, so?
Yeah, are we applying for colleges? And I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to go to college. And my parents, like, surprisingly, were actually pretty supportive. And so I remember fresh out of high school, I walked into MAC Cosmetics. I had never done makeup on a client a day in my life.
That is so real.
Not one. And I was like, I think I just showed up in all black. I was wearing my Doc Marten boots because I wanted to give MAC.
Yeah.
I wanted to serve MAC.
You were?
Yeah.
Did you have Anastasia brows on?
Hardcore.
Okay.
Dark brown too.
I'm just setting the scene.
Yeah. Dark brown is what I wore. And I was like, yeah, I want to apply to be a makeup artist. They gave me the job. They gave me the job. And that's where it all started. So literally, I'm not joking. They put me out on the floor. I was doing someone's makeup like 2 days into training. They were really throwing me out to the wolves.
That's really like explaining a lot of my MAC experiences in high school.
100%.
But you learned a lot and it got you to where you are.
Formal apologies.
No, so do you ever like look back at the makeup that you did and be like, hey, that wasn't me?
I like to rebuke.
Yes.
Yes. I like to disassociate and rebuke anything prior to 2021.
No, that's fair. You have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And be like, that was actually my cousin that did that.
Yeah. It's boundaries. And I've learned that in therapy. So
no, we'll get into that. No, but I actually can't imagine being a makeup artist just because like the styles and everything does change like every year. So it'd probably be impossible to not look back at the last year and be like, wait, why did I do that?
Yeah. But the girls loved it. You said your friend came back
after
high school.
Yeah. No, she said that you were like the talk of the town. I even told them that you were coming on. They were like, that is Arlington royalty. Yeah.
Wow.
No.
That just literally boosted my self.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so you started at MAC, but then like how'd you get to DCC?
I am not joking. I was 1 year into my makeup career and my sister and I got this pimp house in Arlington. I'm talking like pimp townhouse. It was like on the UTA campus. And this is back before Instagram had like blown up with influencers. And so I think I remember either reaching out or she had found me. I don't remember. This was like 11 years ago, but it was the first DCC girl I ever worked with, Chantel. It was 1 year into me doing makeup and she found me and I'm like, I'm right next to the stadium. Like come over anytime to like get glam done. So she came over for either like cameos or I don't think it was a game day because I don't think that they can have time to like travel to a makeup artist on game days. But yeah, once you're in with one of them, you're just in with all of them. So I think they saw her makeup. They loved it. And then yeah, the recommendations over the years just kept pouring in. And then finally for their cameos, I think I had like 6 girls book with me and the coaches were finally like, who's doing this makeup? I guess they really liked it. And they're like, oh, it's like this Madeline girl. So in 2022, I had a call come through on my phone and it said Dina Donnelly. And I knew exactly who that was. And I couldn't answer because I thought I was going to vomit. I was so excited. And so I got her voicemail. And then, she was like, hey, can you come in for cameos in a month? And it was my first time like going to the Cowboys headquarters and going to the girls' locker room. And I was like, this is a dream. So
because before that you were just doing it individually, like
Just
single
for their
bookings.
events. Yeah.
But then cameos, just so you guys know, that's like their official calendar shoot. Those are the photos that they use for all marketing purposes.
It's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
That's like what you see. That's like the DCC glam that everyone knows.
It's like their front and center. What's like the correct term, but the way that you remember the girls. Like
Exactly.
it's their headshot for the year. And when you think of like this girl, like Reese, like you're going to go back to her cameo headshot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You did Reese, right?
Yeah. Her first year on the team.
Aww.
And we connected so much because I started really getting into my faith in 2022. So just kind of sat and chatted with her, and she had shared with me her faith. And so I was like, oh, I love this girl. She's so precious. And so I was so excited to see her success on the first season. She's just so deserving.
She is.
Yeah.
And she's
so
handled
awesome.
it so well too.
Yes. Yeah, she's amazing. So.
No, if I blew up like that, you guys would not be seeing me again.
I have checked in with her. I'm like, how are we doing?
How are we doing, girl?
Yeah, and let me tell you what, I have to be careful because when I see any DCC lore online and it's from anybody other than the girls, like I'll go to war in the comments.
Oh, me too.
You talk, I'm like, you're coming for the wrong, like pre-therapy me will come out.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I'm like, those are my teammates right there.
No,
I'm actually like so defensive of them, and it sounds like I'm like kissing up because of my whole bit, but I'm like, no, they're actually the best, kindest, most sincere girls ever. And I think that's why like I'll never stop my bit because they're my friends.
Truly. Like, I want to, like, I could be the next remote too.
Okay, perfect.
Like, to makeup artist and remote.
I'm casting auditions soon. Will you try out?
Will you text me?
Yes. Okay, we're going to be working on the routine soon. Perfect. But you did my glam and you do, obviously, the other teammates. What is like your signature? And I'm asking this because she actually released her secrets in Daily Mail last year.
So fun.
And I just want to know, like, what is the signature DCC look? Like, for other aspiring remote DCCs at home, how can they get that look? Even just like finishing touches. Like you don't have to go through the full routine, but maybe like signature lip liner, blushes. Like what is that look?
So game day makeup and cameo makeup are two completely different. Like game day makeup has to be like the sweat proof. It really needs to be matte. We're not going for the glow at all just because the sweat is going to like kill. Matte lipstick, no gloss. So what they wear on the field is completely different from what I would do in like a high studio cameo glam. But I'll tell you a couple of my like signature things that everybody has just loved so much. So we love an intense contour and like bronze. We're obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with two bronzers. I love the Hourglass bronzing palettes. And I have volume 2 and volume 3.
Hourglass.
Yes.
Are they cream?
No, but it's like more of like a sheeny bronzer. So it brings a lot of luminosity back to the skin. But I specifically know how the photographer is going to capture that glam on camera. And then I love Coco Naughty by Fenty Beauty. I'm obsessed. It's like the perfect orange undertone bronzer.
Is that a cream?
No, it's powder as well.
Wow.
Obsessed.
Okay.
My two blushes are by Patrick Ta. She's a Doll and Just Enough. They are the perfect pinks like ever. Yeah.
Sorry, I just
we
whispered
did
I'm
put
wearing
one
it
on
today.
Macy today because I'm like, you have to have a couple products that like I absolutely swear by. So she's wearing Just a Doll by Patrick Ta, and it is a signature pink in my kit and for the girls. And then, of course, we always do like the signature browns on their eyes, and I switch it up just according to their skin tone or eye color. And I'm obsessed with the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette.
I bought that because of you.
Yeah. I've talked about it forever. And then the other product that we talked about that you use now is the Dior Quad palette.
You guys,
Swear by it.
if you get one thing from this episode, go to Sephora. Oh, the sale's coming up, I think.
Heck yes.
Okay.
Heck yes.
That is like my one thing that I recommend every time.
Dior Quad palette in the shade Universal.
Oh my gosh. I use the pink as my eyeshadow. I use it as a highlight. I use all shades. I'm wearing it as eyeshadow today.
I'm obsessed. And that's what I use on the center. So I'm always grabbing the Master Mattes. There's like the neutrals.
Sorry, I thought you just said that's what I use on the center. I'm like, okay.
No, like the center of their, okay, sorry.
I heard center.
Yes. Okay, it's what I use on the center,
okay.
to get a little sheen, as I always pull my Dior Quad on the girls, and I'm either using like the lightest pearl shade, the champagne, or the bronze. You are the one that taught me to use the pink. I only was using the pink on the blush till I saw your TikTok video. And Macy used the pink and the Dior Quad on her eyes, and her blue eyes in the video literally just lit up. From that day forward, I started using the pink.
It is my one hack in this life. Like, and the fact that you've
done right.
the fact that you learned something from it, like I can retire today.
No, literally.
I'm actually retiring.
I like wrote it down in my journal, and the next day I did a wedding and I had a bunch of blue-eyed bridesmaids, and I was like, oh, we're pulling the pink.
I love that. Do you think I could get like commission?
100%.
Okay, thank you.
No, literally.
My Venmo is below.
It's like, can we talk about PayPal? Can we talk about the Venmo?
And then the lip.
Yeah, we actually
Sorry,
have the
I had
signature
to just
lip.
jump there because she brought it here today. When I tell you this lip also lasted me after the pizza dinner, I'm not kidding, you guys. Like, I'll get into my crash out later, but it was like at night and I'm like taking videos of myself sad, but my makeup looks so good and my friends were like, Maisie, I'm sorry, I can't get over like your full lip like still intact.
It was a good like thirst trap makeup look.
Totally.
100%. I brought the lip with me today. I do want to preface this by saying I switched the lip color up depending on complexions. So I have about 4 staple lip liners I use just depending on the shade range of the girls. And same thing, I have 3 Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks that I use just depending on. But what I used on Macy, and it's kind of my go-to for my light to medium skin tones, is Wherever Walnut by Makeup Forever. I have sold this thing out so many times.
I bought this because of you in
Yes.
2022. That was the first lip liner I ever bought.
It's the best.
And to this day, because like I feel like there's a lot of people that are still a little bit intimidated by lip liner.
No, it's the best.
This is like for everyone.
And you can wear it high glam, everyday glam. We're both wearing it today.
Yep.
And then my favorite, I think everybody knows the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, but Pillow Talk is just a little too dark for my liking. And based off my makeup style, I love to use almost like a deeper lip liner and something just a little bit lighter in the center. So this is Pillow Talk Fair. I only grab for her. Sometimes I grab for Pillow Talk too. I'm obsessed with her though. And so this is like my signature. And then couple other shades I'll let you guys into is if I'm not using Wherever Walnut, I'm using Anywhere Caffeine. That's for my medium and definitely like olive complected girls. So like for instance, my complexion, I use Anywhere Caffeine all the time. Versatile Chestnut, it's definitely my medium to deeper skin tones. And then anybody that's on like my darker complexion range, I'll use Limitless Brown. So
amazing.
Between those 4, I swear to you can find your like perfect lip liner.
Gosh, thank you so much for that. No,
You're
Makeup Forever,
welcome.
like run her check.
I feel good to get it off my chest.
No, please, like no gatekeep. Like this is the episode of no gatekeeping.
No gatekeeping. I want to watch everybody glow up, have their perfect lip combo, and I swear by it. I've never had somebody hate it.
No,
never.
I'm a true believer.
Yeah.
And right here,
Yeah.
I'm
a walking testimony.
You guys like follow her because she just like will drop random tips that I implement. Like she'll say something one time and I just implement it forever. You posted one time to do brown mascara, which I found really is good for me with like lighter tones.
Yes.
I do brown mascara, but then on the ends I do black, and that kind of gives it that like falsy like lifted
Just
look.
like a little pop on the back.
Exactly. And
So
one
fun.
time I DM'd you and I was like, Madeline, I want to switch it up with my lip. I want to do something that's like dark and fall. Oh my God. I think it was actually for Janine's wedding, which you're going on her podcast next.
Literally next. I'm driving straight
That's
from
so
here
crazy.
over, which is going to be so fun.
And I was like, Madeline, I want to go out of my comfort zone. And you told me to do like a brown lip liner with
Yes.
kind of like you were like, it's a dark vampy red. It was a dark brown lip liner with kind of like a red gloss. It ate.
Yeah. Was it so good?
It was.
I am obsessed.
Thank you so much. No,
I
like,
think with your like complexion too, it's like perfect, especially because you have like stunning eyes and
thanks.
mascara, which by the way, she applied her mascara in my car this morning. We were eating burritos before the
Yep.
podcast and we were talking about the Lancome mascara.
Oh,
We're
and
obsessed.
I have a really good hack because I love Lancome mascara so much. And first of all, never buy them full price. They always, like if you just look up Lancome mascara on Google, there will definitely be a deal like on the website or bundles or whatever. Like they're always bundled.
So we're talking about how they dry out so fast.
Yes, but they do dry out really easily. So I'll buy like the minis that come in the
Yes.
bundles a lot because the minis, like you can go through faster.
Yes.
And they're not going to dry out on you. So
I've been learning stuff from you. Are you sure that, should we just switch places?
Do you
wanna
think-
switch chairs?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to, do you know what? Actually, for your next wedding that you get hired for, I'm just going to show up, no questions asked.
Okay, you should come.
Okay, perfect.
You should just be a bridesmaid. Like you won't know the bride.
That's actually something that I've wanted to get into is like being a bridesmaid for people because I did it. I was a bridesmaid 5 times last year and I'm like, wait, this is my favorite thing ever.
Yes.
So I'm available for hire.
be
You actually don't have to pay me.
You would be really good.
Oh, thank you.
I love that.
Okay, I actually did someone's makeup. I'll show you it.
Okay, I can't wait.
Okay, perfect. But then I also asked people to ask questions for you because
Okay.
it's not every day that we're here next to you.
I love it.
And we had
Bring it on.
so many questions on my official note card.
We're gonna try and go fast. Bring it on.
Rapid fire.
Yeah. No.
How can I be prettier? Okay, here we go. This was the number 1, how to make makeup last in heat and humidity.
Love
And
this.
you are so, obviously, you have so many credentials to talk about this, but you said that you just did your cousin's wedding for
Yes.
a hot, humid Nashville wedding, and it was
Outdoors.
on till 1 a.m.
Yes. Okay. So the main thing is we're gonna get into primers. So I see a lot of conflict on social media just about is it worth it to buy a primer or not? So the one thing I always use to prep the skin is the Emberly's Latte Creme Concentrate. It is a amazing formula that is just a moisturizer. Every pro celebrity artist has used it. Like it's viral all over social media, but it has been a tried and true formula for forever. I always start with that. Then I go in though, depending on somebody's skin type. So if people have more oily skin, if you've got more of an oily skin type, I love using a mattifying primer, but only in the areas that you need it, which is usually around the oil glands. So that's going to be around the nose and in the T-zone area. And then
do you have a favorite one?
I do. I have two right now. I'm not quite sure the actual name, but it's like a water-based one from Danessa Myricks. You can get it at Sephora.
Love her.
Or online. She's amazing. And then I also love the Makeup Forever, Shine Control, and then One Size Beauty has phenomenal ones. So those are three really good companies that you guys can find amazing mattifying primers from. Same thing with the e.l.f. Power Grip primers.
Yes.
Those are great. So you're just looking to prep the skin, not only to properly hydrate it so that the makeup sticks well to the skin, but also finding something that's for longevity. And then that brings me into the second part of the makeup that's going to make it last. What is the longevity wear on the foundation that you're picking? NARS has insane wear for their foundations. They're 12 to 16 hour wear. Same thing with...
Is that what it's called, the 12 to 6? Or all of them? Because I know there's a few NARS ones.
Okay.
You put me onto the Radiant one.
Yes, that's really good for acne-prone skins,
Yes.
which we relate a lot on that. I use the NARS Natural Radiance in my kit right now, and I've used that for years on and off. I'm obsessed with it, but the one thing I love the most about it is the 12 to 16 hour wear. It's just like a guaranteed. So really good for any special occasions, especially if you're going to be out and sweat and, you know, sweating and the humidity. And then setting powder, of course. We have a couple of our favorites. You like Huda Beauty, right?
Yep.
And I love One Size Beauty. I think Huda's
I think
great.
I'm going to switch to One Size soon. Or
I'm
just add it.
I'm obsessed with One Size and I use it in my kit. And I think it's affordable on the like spectrum for everybody as far as like cost wise. And so you want to get a good setting powder and then waterproof setting spray. Waterproof setting spray. One Size Beauty.
Is that what did it for me the other day?
Waterproof setting spray.
Oh, okay.
And then I do still like the Urban Decay All Nighter.
Classic.
I think she's great.
Wait, is the waterproof One Size setting spray, is that on Till Dawn? Or is there a different one?
No. On
Till Dawn.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's the waterproof.
But you also used on me the other day the makeup melt that kind of melts all the powders into your face, and then you did a long-lasting one. So
yeah, I think it just depends on skin type. So if you're super oily, I would maybe stay away from doing a melt first. Just because that oil is going to act as your melt.
Yeah.
Versus dry skin girlies, you're on Accutane still currently, and I was post Accutane. I went on it when I was 19. Yes, and so I've always loved hydrating setting sprays. It just really depends on the skin type. But the waterproof setting spray is amazing. So really queuing into products that have longevity is amazing.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much. Y'all hear that? Taking notes. I want everyone to have like pen and paper.
Queue into longevity. So if it's for long wear, like
Done.
Is it double wear, right? By Estee Lauder.
Oh,
long
I
wear
was just going to
foundation.
ask if you use Estee Lauder double wear ever, just because like that's what I remember my mom growing up on.
Yes.
Like I remember growing up seeing my mom use that, and I was like, I can't wait till I can wear foundation.
100%.
Yeah.
I have a bottle, of course. I whip her out for special occasions. I can leak and say, though, that a lot of the DCC girls wear it for game day.
Really?
Yes, and they love it and swear by it.
Partnership incoming.
Period.
Wait, now that you talk so highly about Charlotte Tilbury,
Yes.
like that's so iconic that they got that partnership. That's so fitting.
What's crazy is I didn't even really know about it. Like,
Yeah.
I had an idea, but I just like got on my phone and I was like, no way. So
Can I be included?
yes,
That's how I was feeling.
to them. I was like, excuse me.
I'm like, wait, at what point can I start getting the payouts?
You know what I think is really cool though is that what is taking off on social media right now is more of the everyday girl and learning to do your own makeup versus just seeing a makeup artist who's really talented creating looks that feel like they're impossible for the everyday girl. So I love it because the DCC girls, like they're not only DCC cheerleaders, they're real women, they're wives, they all have jobs. So I think it's really cool to watch them be able to create looks and
That's what everyone loves about me, that I'm just a real girl as a DCC.
No, really, truly. It's like, it's so inspiring.
She has so many insecurities. No, she has so many imperfections.
Stop.
No, I'm kidding. Okay, we had a lot of questions about drugstore products.
Yes.
I think an easier way to ask this is like, what are some areas that you would save rather than splurge on?
Okay,
like,
that's
I'm going to
good.
give you one example, not that you need it, but I am addicted to the e.l.f. eyebrow pencils.
Okay.
They're $3. I've bought probably 30 in my lifetime in the shade taupe, if anyone's wondering. But like that is something that like I can't get myself to buy a nice eyebrow pencil on.
So actually my professional kit, I use the NYX brow pencils.
Really?
And they're like $7.
Maybe I'll have to switch to that.
Yes. No,
Okay.
I've heard really good things about the e.l.f. NYX was created more for like pro artists, so I love it. But eyebrow pencils are amazing to just stick with drugstore. You can absolutely get away with the skin tint and foundation. That's drugstore, 100%.
Elf?
Yeah, I love Elf.
Yeah.
I'm a ride or die Elf girl through and through.
Same.
I love L'Oreal. Revlon has some great stuff. And then Maybelline is probably, if I had to pick two, I don't want to pick one because Elf and Maybelline would be like my top two that I'm obsessed with. And I think they just have incredible products. So concealer, I would do high end. Setting powder, I would do high end. Outside of that though, I think it's free range. I have amazing drugstore products.
They're all stepping it up.
Yes. Oh, Elf came for everybody's heads. I think it's the coolest thing ever. I'm like rooting them on. Elf's liquid camo blushes.
Oh, I haven't tried those.
Yeah, it's a rare beauty dupe, but it's 10 times more pigmented.
Really?
And the most compliments I've ever received on a blush in my life is wearing the Elf camo.
Okay, interesting.
They're stunning and they're so cheap.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what's so interesting? My old coworker used to work for L'Oreal.
Okay.
And we would talk mascaras all the time because I'm obviously the biggest L'Oreal mascara fan. And she's like, okay, well, like L'Oreal owns Lancome, Maybelline. L'Oreal owns all of those. Sorry, I meant that I used to talk about Lancome mascaras. L'Oreal is the parent company of all those. So like they're all made in the same place. Obviously Lancome's like a little, I don't know, better.
Yes.
But she was telling me that drugstore mascaras. So now like have you used the L'Oreal Panorama?
Yeah.
Amazing.
They reached out to me to do a UGC video for them. So they sent it to me whenever it first came out.
It's amazing.
I'm wearing Panorama today.
Okay. Do you know what's so funny? I was like going through my TikTok last night, like, because I'll like remember eras based off how my lashes looked.
Yes. No, I have Panorama on today.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, wait, I need to get back into my Panorama era.
Yes.
But moral of the story, a lot of the drugstore products come from the same place as the high end. So that's your little tidbit.
Do you want me to drop my favorite mascara that's not sold in the States?
Please.
Okay. It's really good. Anybody that's taking an Italy trip, or if you're just looking for, like, you just want to buy something for funsies, it's by Kiko Milano.
Kiko Milano.
Yes.
Okay.
And the sad thing is that I don't even think it has its own name.
I was about to look it up.
It's in a large black tube. When I tell you that it is hands down my favorite mascara, I went to Italy once in 2023. It's my first time. Bought it there, came home, cried when I ran out. I just went to Italy for a wedding again. I bought like 8 tubes.
Okay, so if you see me in Italy next week, y'all know why. It's research.
So Kiko Milano mascaras, there's something about, Yeah,
of course. Okay, I actually got this question twice, and I was like, this is actually a really good challenge for you, and if you want some time to think on it, you can.
Okay.
One of each for each category.
Okay.
So your favorite product. So we'll start with brows.
Obsessed. Anastasia Brow Freeze.
Beautiful. Lashes.
I'm not going to say the Kiko Milano.
I know.
Lancome.
Yeah. Idol.
Yeah.
The pink one.
Yeah.
Okay, that is my ride or
Obsessed.
die. Every time I stray away, I come back.
Yes.
Lips. I guess this could be
Makeup Forever.
Makeup Forever.
Makeup Forever. I'll never go without a lip liner.
Because you can also use like Aquaphor over that.
Literally. Makeup Forever.
Beautiful. Foundation or skin tint.
Armani Luminous Silk.
You are the definition of luminous makeup.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Concealer.
Hourglass.
Really?
Yes.
Hourglass concealer.
And it's crazy because I just saw a big makeup artist on TikTok that she absolutely hated it. And I use it on myself and in my kit. But if you've tried that and you don't like it because it is a different formula to work with, the Natasha Denona.
Oh, yep.
She's insane.
I get Natasha Denona and Danessa Myricks.
Mixed up.
Yeah. Bronzer.
Creamer or powder?
Cream bronzer.
Cream bronzer. Probably the Makeup Forever HD foundation palettes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's like the one that has all the shades.
Yes, I'm obsessed.
And then blush.
Creamer, powder.
Let's do cream.
Cream.
Let's do both.
Okay. If I'm going to be picking probably my Patrick Ta, my duos. I'm obsessed because that's what I carry in my kit. But I also love the e.l.f. camo and then Rare Beauty, of course.
Yep. Yeah. Patrick Ta reinvented blushes.
He did. It's phenomenal. And I love it because it's got a cream side, a powder side, and you can use it like natural every day, build it up for the nighttime, layer them so that it's more pigmented. So let's stick with Patrick Ta.
Obsessed with him. Okay, we already answered long wear makeup. We've got that down pat.
Yes.
How to not look cakey when making makeup last.
It starts with skin.
It does.
Skincare is insane. Yes, I just moved into the medical grade skincare when my acne came back at 27, and it plays a really, really, really big factor. If I can tell anybody to do anything, hydrofacials are amazing.
You also said before a wedding, you should hydrofacial and dermaplane.
Yes. Hydrofacial and dermaplane is a game changer. However, if you can't afford, which we understand in this economy, like it's really hard for some people to drop hundreds, if not thousands, on skincare and treatments, properly exfoliating, making sure you're drinking enough water.
Do you mean like exfoliating with like a scrub or like chemical exfoliant? Because I love the Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads.
I'm obsessed. The peel pads are a great option for people.
They're still expensive, but like they work.
They work so good, and you can pick them up at Sephora, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy. It's not like you have to go get, like, you have to hop into a med spa. So if anybody is not on the exfoliating train and they're struggling with their makeup looking cakey, I highly suggest getting a peel pad. That was the first time when I started with the peel pad that my skin started changing. And I actually started with the Peter Thomas Roth.
Oh my gosh.
Then I moved into the Skin Medica, and then now I'm on the Zeo. And I've used a lot here and there in between. In my professional kit, I use the First Aid Beauty facial radiance pads.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, they're great. And so definitely a pad just to kind of get off the gunk. Because anything that you basically need to think about it as that dead skin is sitting on like your top layer. Not a lot of times will you be able to see it in the natural lighting. It's more so whenever you're applying products on the top that it's coming to the surface, and it'll cause makeup to crack apart or not stick properly. So an even canvas is
beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I tell you my skincare prep?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is back. Like I cannot wait to get back or to get off Accutane so I can be reunited with the peel pads, because right now it's just a little too intense.
Yes,
but I'll do like my full face wash, all of that in the shower, and then I dermaplane at home. Like I don't know if that's bad, but like
no,
as long.
Do you get the dollar razors?
Yes,
from
Amazon. That is my most purchased Amazon order. Is the Twinkle.
As long as you watch some videos, you're gentle,
and you use a new one every single time.
Yes.
I don't care how well you clean it. Use a new one every single time.
You just buy like the 10
yes.
packs. Yeah.
And then so I dermaplane, and then I do the peel pads.
Yeah.
And then like an hour later, I really let it sit in, and then I'll put on moisturizer after. Like you really let it sit in, whatever. Put on my moisturizer, and then right before bed, I put on self tanner, like my salty face mist. Oh my God, I wake up the next morning, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't ugly. I just needed to like do my reset.
Like you're like, I can have 10 husbands today. I'm starting a new business adventure. Like that is how I feel. Except for my favorite, by the way, if anybody's looking for like the best glow up pack ever, if you are not on a good self tanning regimen,
I did last night.
Okay, what's your favorite that you're using?
Right now, Coco and Eve.
Okay, mine's Loving Tan.
Okay, I have that at home.
I'm a Loving Tan girl.
Oh, yours looks really good. And your hands look good too.
Thank you. You want to know what I used on my hands? Loving Tan came out with 3 brushes. I'm obsessed with the brushes. Like it is like the most even application I've ever had. So I just use the brushes versus the mitt now.
Okay, beautiful.
Obsessed.
Thank you so much. Because my hands are a little.
The face, except for you said you like the salty.
Yes, because it's really good for acne.
Salty Tan, by the way, they're from Vancouver, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. I know. I felt like I had a lot of mutual friends with the girl, and I was like, oh, wait a second. She's from here, which is amazing because I traveled up there quite a bit. And saw her on social media, and I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing. But Loving Tan came out with a skincare infused face serum. It's their new one. And I have super acne prone skin, and I'm obsessed.
No, guys, everything we're saying, like acne has been taken into consideration, because some people like haven't experienced acne. So it's something like they've never even had to think about.
But we like to keep acne safe products, because even if you're not
seriously.
acne prone, you can still get congested pores and all of that. And that affects makeup application. So yeah.
And we're just not about that. Oh
not
my
about
God.
it.
Literally one of the questions was, how has Macy's Accutane affected her makeup as a DCC? But we already talked. As long as you have the skin prep, everything.
How has Accutane, for the girls that maybe are struggling with acne?
Oh my gosh.
Can I interview you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I've been waiting.
How has your routine changed? And also like, how has it affected your makeup? Because I went on when I was 19. I'm 29 now. So that was over 10 years ago. So what is it like now?
Oh my gosh, you guys, the first few months, so I started in January, it's June now. The first few months, I was like, I'm never going to look the same. I just felt like, sorry for lack of a better word, ugly. Like I just felt so ugly. No, but like I would put makeup on and it would crack. Like my skin was so dry. So like I couldn't even think about foundation. But my doctor prescribed me like a medical grade moisturizer, but I love the Typology one.
Okay.
So I'm constantly hydrating. So as soon as I wake up, I put on the Bioma Milky Toner. You would love that.
Okay.
It's like a road.
I've seen it all over
It's
TikTok.
amazing.
Okay.
It's like a glazing milk dupe. They're probably sick of me because I talk about it all the time. But the Bioma Milky Toner, I basically do as much moisturization as I can.
Okay.
The Vanna Cream moisturizer, amazing.
Oh, yeah, I've heard
And
really
I'll
good things
sleep
about
with
Vanna Cream.
Aquaphor around my mouth and under my nose because that's the driest areas. And then I do the Hourglass Tinted Moisturizer.
Okay.
So it's just a lot more like hydrating products, whereas I used to be able to just like smack on foundation and be fine.
I was a glowy, hydrating fanatic when I was Accutane and post-Accutane.
Oh, yeah. Also, the Tower 28 serum concealer is what I use now.
I really like Tower 28.
I love them. So it's basically just like very hydrating products. And my goal when I do my makeup is I want to look as oily. I used to never say that, but I want to look as oily and dewy as possible because that's going to go away in seconds.
100%.
So as where I used to, no, literally, I wouldn't recommend that to anyone else.
Don't understand it, but I get it. I've been there, and literally, I never had to set my face with powder.
Oh yeah,
ever.
It was like
ever.
No, seriously, it was like March, and that's when like the Accutane really starts to hit in or set in, and I was like, I'm not looking like myself. We've got to change this up. And you can't get hydrofacials on Accutane.
I know.
It's so annoying.
But you're almost done.
No, I'm so close.
Yes.
I wake up now and the first thing that I do now isn't go and check the mirror for new pimples.
Is that not the biggest relief?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm like knocking on wood because I'm like, hopefully it lasts. Yeah. But okay, no, we said this was going to be a full glow up episode. I feel like we got all the makeup talk. Like,
love it. Did we go through them?
I think so.
Okay.
If you guys have more questions, please let me know because now that Madeline and I are actual friends, like she's gonna be our in-house makeup therapist. Like makeup therapist. Yeah.
Yes. And we talked about self-tanners, our favorite self-tanners, which I feel like is a huge thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. It's like for some reason, self-tanner under makeup it's a gate. Like you're locked in, you're a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
The best I have ever looked was when I went to Dancing with the Stars. Just wanted to bring that up. Yeah, I went.
No, literally. I'm like this for you. I'm like, they flew me out. And
I bought my plane ticket.
Yeah.
No.
Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, seriously. But I got a spray tan by Dolce Glow. Do you know who that is?
I've heard of Dolce Glow.
Okay, so the owner is Isabel Alyssa, and she does like Kardashian. She does all of them.
Okay.
But she started a self-tan brand, Dolce Glow, which I need you to try it because it's amazing. But she has like certified spray tan artists. And so I had like this most customized spray tan I've ever had. And that changed my entire life. And I look back all the time, I'm like, what was different? I'm like, girl, you had a spray tan.
Spray tan. Yeah, it's the best.
Okay. So we have spray tan, makeup tips.
Yes.
We did skincare because that's everything. Wait, also, Madeline does have some credentials because you're recovering bleached hair.
Absolutely.
Postpartum hair loss, all the things.
Do you want me to rapid fire through skincare really fast and hair care?
Yes, please.
Okay. So skincare regimen through and through, religiously been on it for 2 years is Zeo Skincare.
They are the best.
Swear by it. My acne actually came back after Accutane, and it didn't come back like when I was pregnant or, postpartum, but came back when I was 27. I think that it literally is genetic in my family. Anybody who struggles with sensitive, acne-prone skin and maybe they don't want to go on Accutane, Zeo Skin literally changed my life. By the way, I'm not sponsored by them. Like I will go up and pay full price for their products. So absolutely obsessed. I think we talked about cleansers.
Yes.
You said, what was the 2 makeup cleansers, makeup removers that you would use?
Yes.
And so I'll tell you guys the one I use, which is the Balancing Cleansing Emulsion by Zeo Skin. And I absolutely swear by it.
It's looking this up right now.
It's a step 1 cleanser. So when you're in the double cleanse, which by the way, every single person needs to be double cleansing. It changed my life. I'm obsessed with that. Safe for acne prone girlies too. It's like a very like gel-like. It's so like good on the skin.
Craving that right now.
But if you can't afford that and you're looking for a really good, just like cleansing balm. Sorry, I just blanked out for a moment. The e.l.f. Holy Hydration Cleansing Balm.
Really?
It's amazing. Yes, and it's dermatologist tested.
Okay, e.l.f.
And it's $11.
I love them so much.
I'm obsessed. So swear by those 2. And then as far as hair care goes, if you guys have not seen my hair care journey,
we need to give credentials.
It was a process. It was a really big process. Lonza Hair Care, and they don't sponsor me either. They've sent me a couple PR packages, but I paid full price. I literally just went up to Ulta. They did a massive rebrand and just picked up the healing oil hair serum.
I'm literally going to go buy that today.
It's so good.
The healing oil. And do you use that like before bed, like before you style all the time?
Just all the time. It never makes my hair greasy. Anybody who's just like, how do you get your hair to look so healthy? I swear by it.
Okay.
If you have to purchase one product to start off on their line and just get the healing oil.
I need that. I need to be healed.
I'm upset.
I'm going to Ulta right after this.
I need to be healed.
No, like, Lonza. Yeah. Okay, beautiful.
Love it.
But also, I don't know how to politely segue into this.
I feel like I know what's coming next.
So you're divorced. No, no, but I was gonna say like this is like glow up episode, and you did a lot of like inside out work. Like
yes,
we could talk about setting powders and Lonza healing oil all day long. Yes, please. You're like, can I get comfortable?
From this
like, can I get crisscross applesauce?
Yeah.
Wait, why have I actually not been sitting crisscross applesauce?
I know. Like, I just feel like I know what we're going into.
Everywhere I go, I sit crisscross applesauce. Like, I always ask for a booth so I can sit like this.
I'm going to switch.
Okay, perfect.
Because the second you said that, my heart started pounding.
No, we don't have to.
No, let's go in.
Okay, perfect.
We're going in.
For those of y'all that don't follow Madeline, she is like so open about
everything.
Literally,
if I'm having a bad day, you're going to know.
No, same. Well, actually, maybe you won't. My close friends knows that I'm having a bad day. It's actually so funny. My friends watching my close friends story this week, they're like, you're unwell. But then my normal ones was like memes.
You're thriving.
No, exactly.
Yes, but I'm very open.
You are.
Very open. Always have been. Which has been like admirable. A blessing and a curse.
Which also is like, it allows for so much connection because that's how I knew that we would be friends.
Yes.
You're very open.
Yeah.
And you've been through a lot as we mentioned, she is a mamacita.
Some is self-inflicted. Some is just how life's gone.
Some is just lessons that you have to learn.
Lessons I had to go through.
But so you had your daughter at 21.
I did.
And so we love her. She's a queen. Wish she was here. She would be so good in that chair.
She'd be with
there.
her cat puppet right now. It's her new thing. Or her wiener dog. It's one of the two.
She kills me. And so you've dated a lot while
100%
being
just crazy.
How is that dating while being a mom? Sorry, I just keep bringing up Huda because like that is like changed
yeah. I feel like I've gone through a lot of different chapters. I had my daughter like very unexpectedly when I was 21. And abortion was like on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I'm like being very open about that, but there was a lot going on in my life. I wasn't close with the Lord at that time. Sophia's dad, who's an amazing father, by the way, he's fabulous. He already had a child when we got pregnant.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Sophia has an 11-year-old
Okay,
sister.
wow.
Yeah, they're super close.
And Sophia's 9?
Sophia is 7.
Why did I think?
Because she's very mature
she
for her age.
is.
She's very mature for her age.
She literally is giving 9-year-old. And I could have done that math so easily. I was like, she's 9.
You're like, so she's 12. And so there was just a lot of seasons after that. Like we were in a toxic relationship and thankfully it's so much better now. But there was a season of like being a single mom, going through a very uncertain pregnancy, thinking was abortion or adoption going to be a better option? And so I love to be open about my journey and to encourage people because my temporary circumstances were not my permanent destination.
That gives me like literal chills.
Well, more people just need to hear it because I thought at 21 I was going to lose my life. I was like, I have so much ahead of me. I have my career. I have this, I have that. I'm not ready. I was a Hooters waitress.
I did not know that.
Nobody knows that. And doing makeup and trying to get through school. I was in school when I found out I was pregnant. And so I just felt like I had all the odds stacked up against me and I know how scary it is to be in a position like that. So I've always been super open, just because I've had so many people help me along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I love to just like encourage people because being a mom truly changed my life in all the best ways. I truly believed God sent her into my life. Like when they talk about he'll use all things for his glory, like I was living in sexual immorality, like having sex out of wedlock, got pregnant unexpectedly. And yes, there was consequences and suffering to my actions. But overall, when they say God will turn all things for his good, Sophia changed my life. And I would not be the woman I am today and chasing the Lord and wanting to be just like a servant of the Lord had I not had my daughter into my had she not come into my life. So
I have like literal tears right now.
But it's the best thing
it
and I
is.
love to encourage. And then
I think so many people can relate to that. Like if they're, I don't know what you said about
there's
that's
so
not
many
forever.
things,
Like
like
this
toxic relationships, getting pregnant unexpectedly, having to face like abortion, adoption, or becoming a mom. Those are things not talked about enough. And it's amongst us. Like I know a lot of friends and they've chosen different options. And so I love to be open about that. But my story did not stop and end there.
Yeah.
I dated after. So I was like single mom dating, got into horrible relationships, made really bad decisions. I think I was just like down bad after Sophia's dad and I broke up the first
as
time.
Kylie Jenner says, she's like, these are the years where I'm supposed to be naked. And she has a daughter.
Made really bad decisions.
You were still like kind of living your youth while being a mom. That's
and
like
and it was so push and pull because the lifestyle I was living was just not like really like equipping me to be the best mom ever. So I'm thankful Sophia was so young. And my parents and everybody was able to help during that time when I was just kind of like figuring my life out.
And let me just say, like I keep hyping Sophia up. Like you have done such a great job.
Thank you. I want to give me and her dad props and the grandparents props. I really do because it takes a village and she is just like living proof of having so many people that love her and have filled her with love during all different seasons her dad and I have gone through. We've both dated. We've both had toxic relationships. And and I love navigating and learning those. And then I was married and very shortly divorced afterwards.
This was recent.
This was really recent. Like last May was the separation in 2024.
And how did y'all meet? Me asking as if I don't know everything.
On Hinge. Delete it right now. Never get on it again.
That's the one piece of advice you have. So how'd you meet him?
Yeah,
okay,
Hinge.
so let's just backtrack to this because I feel like a lot of people that follow you and know you might be coming for this, the divorce era.
Yeah, because my entire life became being a makeup artist and then posting about this godly Christian marriage that I'd found my soulmate, that we loved the Lord so much. Then it was radio silent. Everyone just saw pictures disappear and then never saw anything else again. And it sucked because the relationship was so public. So when it went radio silent, everybody was like, what the heck happened? Like, how do we get here?
I had questions.
Yes, my DMs were.
And it's so hard because I didn't want to be like getting tea or anything. I just want to be like, are you okay?
Yes,
and
you were so sweet.
Thanks. Let's backtrack. You met on Hinge.
Yeah.
But he lived in, that's why you brought up British Columbia. You were like, I know some people there. You live in DFW and he's in British Columbia. So how'd y'all meet on Hinge?
I had this like great idea. I was like, I am going to set my Hinge location to Orange County in California, which is my favorite place in the world. I'd gone there for a wedding like a year prior and fell in love with it. And I was like, I want to date a beach boy. That was just,
I see no issues with that plan, by the way.
Can't tell you why, though, as like a single mom that I like thought that was going to work, but I did it anyways. And I think he was down there for work. But I think like I was setting my Hinge location everywhere. I think I moved it up to like Seattle, love the Pacific Northwest. I think I was just looking for like a part-time
You're like
boyfriend.
geographic dating. You're like, I do like New York.
No, I said it in New York. It was everywhere.
Okay.
So we matched somehow, and then we had talked for like a month or two. I figured he wasn't a serial killer. We like got past that, and then we met, and then it was like.
So he flew out to meet you.
Yes.
Because that's what you have to do when he lives out of the country.
Yep. Flew in to meet me. We thought everything was good.
Were you nervous when he first moved in, or when he first flew in?
Oh yeah. It was so scary.
That's like must be so scary going from talking to someone to like flying in. Sorry, I'm like making you relive it.
It's so cringy thinking back now because I just look at like my frontal lobe and she was not developed at all, and I'm like, ooh, what were we doing?
I get it. Mine's like developing right now, and I'm really hating it.
Mine literally only developed like 4 months ago.
See, I know mine's in the beginning phases.
Yeah,
not
something
loving
happens.
it.
It's like you stop liking Starbucks. Yeah, I think that's like one of the first things that happen, and you like truly start loving good coffee. That's one of the
first indicator.
It's one of the symptoms.
We'll all work on an ongoing list of like how you know your frontal lobe is developing. Okay, so
we were engaged in 6 months. It was really fast. I think Christian dating goes a little quicker because we were trying
and long distance.
Yeah, we were trying to do the celibacy until marriage and all of that. I was like really just like kind of coming into my faith when that relationship started, and then we were eloped within 8 months of knowing each other.
Yeah. Okay, so let's backtrack. No, I'm kidding. No, but that honestly, I feel like some people could look at that and be like, that's actually insane. And yes, it's crazy. But coming at it from where you were, you had only been in bad, toxic relationships. Totally. So when you find this guy where you're like, oh my God, this is everything I've ever wanted. You guys were like praying together.
Absolutely.
And you're like, this is what I've been looking for.
Totally. It was like, I felt like I was getting everything handed to me on a silver platter. I truly believe that the Lord was like redeeming my story at that part. So I was really leaning into it with emotion and not taking a step back and actually praying and like fasting and praying for God's will to be done. But I truly believed he allowed me to walk through all of this because it changed me as a person. There's a lot of like funny parts, but there's also like really big monumental stepping stones in my life that went into this relationship. So I quickly realized after the marriage that I was not healed from any, like marriage didn't fix anything. And instead, marriage actually brings out the worst sides of people.
Everyone hear that? I think a lot of people think that like a ring's just going to make everything dandy.
It did not take away anything I went through in my past and refused to like deal with. Then you throw a child that isn't his in the mix and long distance.
A long distance marriage does not sound for the weak.
It wasn't. I don't know what was going on in my head that I was like, this is great. But I just quickly realized I was very unhealed. I was very reactive, super emotional. I grew up in a household where my parents is like country dad, mom with like fiery, spicy mamacita. And
We won't stop saying that.
Yeah, mamacita. And my mom and my parents were more like yellers in the house when they would argue. Little name calling, curse words were not like unheard of in my household. And my ex-husband's family was like polar opposite. So arguing for us was like a foreign territory. And it really, really, really
And you didn't
affected him.
argue. This is one thing that stuck out to me. You said you didn't really argue until marriage.
No, we didn't argue until marriage.
Yes.
We did have some fights, but I think we were so in the honeymoon phase that it was really easy to let go and get over. But then the hard stuff starts coming in when you're actually like in the covenant, right? Like all the hard stuff. And very shortly after we were married, we were like 6 months in, he kind of like drew this ultimatum where he was like, I'm not going to put up with this. This needs to change. That's really hard to come on and like to be vulnerable. There were red flags on both sides, looking back now, but I needed to take responsibility that I was like the problem as far as like the arguing went. But I thought in a biblical marriage that you're in it for the long run.
And you figure it out together. Like it's you two against the problem.
Absolutely. That was like my take on it. So I go to therapy and I stayed in therapy for a solid year. Shout out to Clay. He's amazing. Like life coaching and therapy changed my life.
I need Clay's number right now.
Clay's phone is going to be ringing off the hook after this
It's going to be me asking you for lip liners and me asking Clay how to deal with my life.
Clay! Like, and anytime the phone rings, like, Clay,
no, it's the audio. It's like,
good.
Can you talk right now?
Are you sure it's safe here?
That's actually me.
Literally. And so, anyways, I went to therapy for 6 months.
Because he was telling you, sorry, I like no outsider info. Because he was telling you things like, I don't know if we can get past this, like the arguing and stuff. And
that was the first time I knew that there was a possibility of separation or divorce.
When he said, I don't know if we can get past this.
Yes,
because you're like, what do you mean?
Yeah. But what does any like good Christian wife do? You go to therapy. I'm like, and I made the promise. I said, I'm going to go as long as it takes to like fix this. And I knew at that point too, like I'd been breaking down and crying. I don't feel right emotionally. I feel like all my past is coming up against me. I feel like I'm dealing with spiritual warfare. I feel like the enemy is coming into our marriage. So there was a lot that was like going on. And I'd struggled with depression and anxiety prior to, us meeting. I'm a Zoloft girly through and through.
No, for real.
Yes. And so I went to therapy and then, but it was a one-sided like therapy. Like it was just me. So I felt like he kind of saw our marriage burning down, but it was just like up to me.
And so you were doing all the fighting, and I have a Taylor Swift song for you.
Bring it. I assure you, I probably have it on my playlist.
Okay, perfect.
I assure you, if it's written by Taylor, it was on my Big D playlist.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. And so at the 6-month mark, we separated. And it was kind of crazy, but like that was the last day I ever saw him again.
Oh my gosh. And she said something so crazy. It was he left the apartment to go back to Vancouver. And you said, I think this is going to be the last time I ever see him.
Yeah. And I wrote it down in my prayer journal. I don't know what happened that morning, but I cried when he left because there was automatic discord. I could feel it for months.
Your gut feeling, like I can
It was, and here's the thing. The gut feeling made me feel even crazier. I think I felt even more irrational and my anger would come out even more because I felt like he had taken a like major step back as the role of a husband. Like he was doing everything, but also I felt like there was really like the best word to describe it is a discord between the two of us. So yeah, he left that day. That was the last time I ever saw him. I wrote it down in my journal. I said, I feel like this is the last day I'm ever going to see him. And I was correct. And it was the most gut-wrenching, horrific, like it was worse than my pregnancy, which I think was the reason now I can look at Pia's dad and we're able to reconcile and have such a great relationship is that put me so down bad. Like I was so angry with God. Sophia was hysterical. She was like so distraught over this. Yeah, because, she finally thought like this is my family, at least on my mom's side. And I was so distraught, like lost 20 pounds, couldn't work. It was affecting my work immensely.
I remember when you were posting, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I never do this. I'm not going to be able to get back to emails.
I just couldn't get I couldn't get afloat.
Because people joke about divorce by 30 being chic, but that must be the most lonely, isolating, everything feeling.
It was horrible. And I blamed myself. I really solely just blame myself the first few months. Thankfully, I'm so glad that I had a relationship with God and was going to therapy because it gave me the double-sided perspective of you're doing the work, you're working on what you need to, but also like this is not right. Like a husband should not be abandoning his wife and his stepchild. And that's a really harsh word to use, but when it comes down to it, like
that's what happened.
Yes, but there was a lot of words thrown around on his side of verbal abuse, or it was just stuff that I never took lightly. Like I went so far into therapy that I saw psychotherapists to see me and evaluate me to make sure that I wasn't missing something, like I wasn't bipolar, or I needed to be on a different medication, or multiple personality disorders. Like straight up, all of those, like I was led to believe that there was something deeply internally wrong with me.
Well, because when the one person whose opinion you should listen to and trust the most is saying those things,
speaking that over you,
you take that seriously, and you're like, is there something wrong? Ugh.
And I knew that I knew that it was going to end in divorce. I can say that right off the bat. I literally felt like God was prepping me, because this wasn't a like, I love you so much, but you're hurting me. I need to take some time away, and like checking in every other day to be like, I love you and I miss you. I'm praying for us today. But like, I still don't want to talk, right? Because I felt like things were getting like escalating. It was not like that. It was also not like, hey, want to make sure you guys are financially okay, since I was a financial provider, but just stepped out. There was none of that going on, which really like, I think sometimes you're going to hear me kind of like come out with a little bit. There's still some things I'm working through, but there is a lot of forgiveness. There is a lot of forgiveness.
You are handling it far better than I would.
So after there, by the way, the entire time it was like, don't talk to me, don't talk to my family, all of that. So after 7 months of kind of like begging, then I'd have a spiral. I can't do this anymore. Like it was traumatizing. After 7 months, I finally pulled the ultimatum, and I just was like, you either come back and work on our marriage, or I have to like step out for my daughter and I, because I can't live like this anymore.
Because being in a state of separation where it's not actual divorce yet, I can't even imagine the agony of being horrible.
Like, you know, every day I would wake up with those pits in my stomach, couldn't eat.
Madeline. It
was just terrible. And Sophia like saw the worst sides of me. It was just awful. And like, praise God that her dad stepped up in that time. Like, didn't even ask. He just knew I was separated and stepped in and was like taking over, because he knew like he had to do 70 because I could only give 30. And yeah, I called it after that. And yeah, I was the one that called the divorce, and that was that. And so it was brutal, but I truly believe that God allowed me to walk through that season, because in my separation, I'd never leaned into Jesus so much. And I'm not perfect, and I don't think I'm a righteous woman by any means, but it changed me in such an amazing way that like I'll never not remember that time with God. And so I can actually say like I am thankful for that season, and I am thankful that that relationship ended. I think God saw things that I didn't, and I truly believe that it was protection for my daughter and I. So
100%. I just want to say, like, I love hearing you talk about your faith and everything, because I feel like a lot of Christians come off in like a very like almost a tacky way of like, how could you do that? And like I went to TCU where like it's a lot of Christians where it's like the holier than thou mentality, and like
I just walked
you are the most real person ever, and you're like, no, this is like actually the only way I've gotten through it.
I don't want to judge anybody, because I just want people to know like I've been through, and I've made the worst of the worst mistakes as a mother, prior to being a mom, sexual morality, sin, cheating, like just anything you can think of. I've walked through those seasons, and I don't say that proudly. I say that with a lot of regret and shame that I've had to go back in different seasons and pray if that guilt comes back. So I love to be open and talk about it, because I want people to know like there is hope. When I went through my divorce, I literally thought my life was over. I thought I could never be okay again. I was so embarrassed and humiliated and heartbroken. I felt like I failed everybody in that situation. And then I came out on the other side, and I was like, dang, God is like, so like.
No, seeing you now makes me genuinely so happy. Like I know you said there's still stuff that you're recovering from and working through, but like seeing you today, like it's insane to see.
You're so sweet.
No, I love you. I know, my new best friend. No, but if anyone's going through an era like this, a really bad breakup, a divorce, or just anything, feeling so lonely, and that there's not a light at the end of the tunnel, because when you're going through these eras, it's like realistically, you know deep down that like you're gonna be okay, but you can't see that at all.
I didn't feel that though.
No,
I felt like I was never gonna be okay. I literally thought I was gonna die.
Like, no, I get that.
Not to be dramatic.
No, but like
I was like,
I get it.
Oh, it being like that was me.
Yeah. Do you have just like, besides your faith, obviously, which is such a huge part of getting you through, but you talk a lot about Clay, our therapist king, just like one or two pieces of advice
Get a spray tan.
It all comes back to that, actually. I'm like, so what undertones?
Yeah. Get a spray tan. No, 2 things is you are never going to be whole with somebody else until you're whole with yourself. And that
hate to hear it.
Hate
to hear that one.
I will say my best friend told me prior to me getting married, she goes, you need to go to therapy and get good with yourself before you hop into a relationship. She was right. She was right.
Paige?
And yes, it was Paige. And it was the best piece of advice ever anybody has given me is you truly, if you are lacking in areas, what happens is you're putting your self-worth into other people. So you're searching for, like, say your cup is half full, you're looking to find that fulfillment, like to be fulfilled in other people, right? You want your boyfriend to give you all the affirmations you need. You want your husband to give you all the things that you need. Friendships, money, your job, anything. They're all just like temporary things. They're not going to keep your cup full. Finding Jesus, obviously, I hate to like continuously bring it back because I know there are probably a lot of viewers that maybe they're not there yet in their walk of faith, but you need to be whole on your own before you will ever be able to be in a healthy relationship. I do want to say there are the odds and ends where people get in a relationship together and they become whole, over a period of time and a journey, but it is more painful. It comes with a lot more suffering and a lot of hardships. You just can't put your self-worth in other people. Every single person on this earth will let you down. Every single person will. So you need to be good and happy with yourself and go to the Lord.
Colin Clay right now. No.
I promise.
I'm like, wait, so what setting powder?
Yeah. Like, anyways, so like what setting powder are we going to use here? Yeah, I'm like, Jesus blessed me with the one size beauty setting powder because it changed my life.
No, that is really good advice.
Being whole and also not going into any relationship with rose-colored glasses on. Ask the hard questions.
La 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 la.
No, that was literally me. That was me on Hinge. I was like setting my Hinge location in New York.
I love my rose-colored glasses.
And so I'm literally just like, don't go in with
see things for what
glasses.
they are.
See people and things for what they are. Stop. Don't be emotionally led. Ask the hard questions. Look for the dynamics, family dynamics, friend dynamics, past relationships. Ask them about their ex. If they say my ex is crazy, like run for the freaking hills, my girl. Run as fast as you can. So yeah, don't go in with rose-colored glasses on. And if you are in your faith, like you need to be in deep prayer when you are opening your life for a potential life partner to walk in. Deep in prayer, fasting. Yeah.
I need to talk to you about fasting. My dad was telling me to do it last night.
You can fast from anything though.
I know.
Social media, makeup.
Okay,
self-tanning.
Stop. Little too far.
A little too far.
Madeline.
Yeah.
Cut the cameras.
Got that part out.
Why is this toxic girl here? She's crazy.
You're like, I get the divorce now.
No, stop. I'm like, wait, having him on. No, I'm kidding.
But I do want to like take responsibility. It was just a big life lesson.
It was
for me.
And I was telling you, I was like, I hate that you have to be the person to like go through these lessons.
Oh my gosh.
You're getting a little too knowledgeable now.
My prayer journal with God was like, why me? Like, why me?
No, seriously.
But it was great though. He, it was another, like, he's going to use all things for his good. And so
that's the moral of the story here.
Well, because people are like, divorce in a Christian marriage, how does that happen? It's really sad the way that the enemy works. It's really, really sad the way that he infiltrates and he goes slow and steady till there's no going back. And so I like to be able to chit chat and talk about it because this is a part of our generation.
It is.
And divorce rates are at an all-time high. And so I say that not like, what if there's more divorce? I'm just joking. But yeah. Well, also delete Hinge. That's my best relationship advice.
That's what we're taking away from this.
You need to sue Hinge, please. I'm just joking, Hinge, if you're watching.
And just like, no, I'm kidding. Well, this was like literally the most helpful episode ever for so many reasons. Like these girls are going to be not only healed, but also looking like DCCs. I think we covered just about everything. Yes, and we're now best friends. And I don't want to leave this couch. I want them to follow you so that they can get makeup tips and life advice.
Yeah. Beware, though. There are seasons I go through where I'll just let it all out. So proceed with caution.
It's part of the journey.
It's part of the journey. Proceed with caution.
They'll never be not entertained.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
What's your username?
Madeline Cope. Both on TikTok and IG.
Oh, slay. Mine's like underscores. I have 2 N's on TikTok. You're lucky.
Yours is giving icon, though.
Oh, thank you. I love the name Madeline, by the way. because when I was
love the
little,
name Macy and Madeline. We go together really good.
We really do. When I was little, I memorized I couldn't read yet, but Madeline was my favorite book ever. And so I memorized the words.
To this day, I put a Christmas ornament on my parents' Christmas tree of Madeline, and she's missing her legs and her arms. But she still goes up every year. We won't get rid of her. We're obsessed.
No, you can't. But I memorized the words of that book before I learned how to read. So I knew which words were on each page. I read that every single night, but it was just memorization. Yep, obsessed with her. I wanted to name my dog Genevieve after her. And so now I've like, okay, I'm not going to do Genevieve, but I want to name a dog Madeline.
I'm
after
obsessed.
you. We're going to miss you guys. This was such a fun girly chat.
See you in just a bitties.
Obsessed. Okay.
See you in just a bit.